Hey guys, welcome to my one-off Let's Play of Stardew Valley. We have just finished a complete, or not 100%, but complete Final Fantasy VII original 1997 release run. And we're going to be doing Lego Jurassic World next, but I figured this would be a good kind of connector game between the two of them. You know, just a nice little cleanse the palate from one long Let's Play to the next long Let's Play. I figured this would be a nice little brief one episode series for Stardew Valley. I might have to adjust some volumes when I get here. As you can see, I've muted the main menu volume because it doesn't even matter what you have the game sound setting on, which by the way you can't do until you get into the actual game. You can't adjust like the sound levels, but no matter what you put sound levels at, this menu music is pretty loud, so I've muted that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off with a new game, and I'll show you the basics as we get in there. You know what, let's have a boy. Turn the character around. No, we're just gonna randomize it. How about we do, what? How many episodes did we have? We had 23 episodes of Final Fantasy VII, so let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Whoop, I think I hit that once. One extra one. I'm not going to be keeping this character, so that's fine. Animal preference, you can do... Well, this is new, because when I made my first character, that was the only cat, but now it looks like you have 3 cats, 3 dogs. I'm going to go with this cat, because looks most like my tuxedo cat that I have, the one that tends to holler at my door sometimes. So that's what we'll do for that. I'm going to name this one Newbie. Newbie. Okay. Farm name. Trash farm. Because this is not going to be a save I come back to. Favorite thing. Farming, I guess. Farming. Now, I'm not sure how many of you... Oh, and here, this is new. This originally was just, you just had this option, but in a later patch, you were able to get different kinds of farms, so that was just a regular farm. Plenty of open space. This has riverland farms. Benefit of, or the drawback is some of your land is taken up by waterways. Benefit is the river actually waters crops that are within so many squares of the river. So you got this forest farm. It takes up some of your farm space, but provides easy access to like wood supplies, which you will need for various upgrades and stuff. Hilltop farm also takes up some of your farming space, but then you get easy access to mineral ores, which you will use for upgrades as well. Wilderness farm. I actually haven't seen this in use, but I think what it is that you have the opportunity to go into the mines and fight monsters there, and you collect items from those monsters. And I think this at night you get monsters on your farm, so you don't have to travel all the way to the caves to get those, but I'm not sure exactly how it determines which monsters and stuff like that. This is a farm that's basically very good for if you're going to do co-op. You can have up to 3 other co-op partners, and so this is like a 4 squared 4 corners farm. So it's a beach farm. The beach was introduced in the, I want to say, latest big patch. I think the creator said it was basically going to be the last huge patch, like that actually introduced a whole lot of things. It introduced an island, and with that came this beach farm. And with the beach farm, I think you get easier access to coconuts, clams, like all the tropical fruit that came with that update, like bananas and mangoes and stuff. But again, it takes up some of the farming space for regular crops, which if you're just starting out, that's basically what you're gonna be doing. Now what's this? Okay, so the community center, it's going to be it's a thing that you'll have to turn in things for, but like these are things where you can like change like how easy it is to do like various other like factors that come up on your farm. So we'll just start with this newbie character. My very special grandson. You can have the sealed envelope. No, don't open it yet. Have patience. Now, listen close. Grandpa, why do you have a sword above your fireplace? There will come a day when you feel crushed by the burden of modern life. Oh. I'm already there, Grandpa. Your bright spirit will fade before growing. Still already there, Grandpa. When that happens, my boy, you will be ready for this gift. Now let Grandpa rest. XX years later, so it's at least 10 years later, because that's what X mean. Georgia, join us, thrive, work. They're basically just working. Here's some of the employees. Terminated. Life is better with Georgia. Little something like that. Oops, somebody has died at their desk. There's me. I was like looking, I'm like, where's me? And I'm like, I just realized I just had a random avatar, so. Oh, Grandpa's letter. Dear newbie, if you're reading this, you must be in dire need of a change. The same thing happened to me long ago. I'd lost sight of what mattered most in life, real connections with other people and nature. Now see, real connections with other people in nature is probably the last thing I'd want to do, because I hate going outdoors. Anyway, so I dropped everything and moved to the place I truly belong. I've enclosed the deed to that place, my pride and joy, Trash Farm. It's located in Stardew Valley on the southern coast. It's the perfect place to start your new life. This was my most precious gift of all, and now it's yours. I know you'll honor the family name, my boy. Good luck. Hello, Grandpa. P.S. If Lewis is still alive, say hi to the old guy for me, will ya? Okay. So it looks like Grandpa left us this farm. We're gonna escape from the corporate life and head there and I guess try to make a living there. There might be music going on, I don't know. I tried to change it before the stream started. I'm not sure if it actually ended up working, so once I get out of these cutscenes, I will Oh no, the music is kicking in, so it should be fine. Hello, you must be newbie. I'm Robin, the local carpenter. Mayor Lewis sent me here to fetch you and show you the way to your new farm, or new home. He's there right now, tidying things up for your arrival. The farm's right over here if you'll follow me, okay? Well, it doesn't look very tidy. Yeah, you can say that again. It's a trash farm. It's easy for you to say. You're not the one who's got to clean this mess. Yeah, it doesn't look very big. It's Mayor Lewis. Welcome, I'm Lewis, Mayor of Pelican Town. Everyone's asking about me. Stop telling my business to everybody in town, Mayor Lewis. Maybe I want some privacy. Rustic. Call my new home crusty? Yeah, rude. So she will do house upgrades. Haha, got caught out on that, didn't it? Okay, so tomorrow he wants me to go around and introduce myself to people. Okay, so if I want to sell stuff, I'll put it in that box up there, and after every night, or during the night at some point, he will come and collect it and exchange it for money. This is basically what I was saying earlier, I lost my train of thought, is that this is very Harvest Moon, and it's kind of, I'm just gonna pause it here. Very Harvest Moon, and it's like basic essentials, like you till soil, you plant seeds, you water them, you know, grow crops, and then you sell the crops to earn more money, to get more upgrades, stuff like that. And then you at some point get animals like Harvest Moon 2. However, well, before I do that, this is my menu. That's what I have in my bag. As you can see, I have this row. I have not purchased, we have to purchase more bag room, which is what those other rows are. These are my skills. I have no skills yet, but these are the 5 main ones: farming, mining, foraging, fishing, and combat. And you have a wallet which you'll keep your key items. This is everybody in town. As you can see, I haven't met most of the people, just the mayor and Robin. And as you can see, they have hearts you can fill. And you have little gift check boxes. I think you can only give 2 gifts per week to each citizen. And then as you can see, there's also a conversation check, where if you have conversed with them, I want to see if that's daily, maybe it's weekly as well, but and as you can see, some of these people have single by their names, and they have 2 hearts blacked out. That means that after you choose who you would like to marry, only their last 2 hearts will be available to increase. So some of these people, you can only get to 8 hearts. This is a map. That's my farm. It is bus stop. Let's see, as you can see, there's various things. These are things that I can, and this is called the crafting menu. As you can see, I do not have many recipes. I have some fences, some torches, and some paths and stuff. You will unlock more recipes later. This is basically items shipped. So it's like a completionist thing for if you want to ship one of every item. As you ship them, they will appear on here. And then here's like fish you've gotten, artifacts, minerals, cooking, like what dishes you have actually cooked, and then various achievements and letters and stuff. And then this is where you want to be able to change like your menu. This is why I was saying you can't really adjust volume and stuff until you get in there. I'm going to turn the sound down just a little because it does get loud at certain points, so I'm just going to turn that down just a little bit. And then here's the exit screen, so we're just going to exit there. It looks like I got a package. I got some parsnip seeds, some Mayor Lewis, and as you can see, there's an exclamation point over here. This is your journal. So it's basically telling you you can complete these things, and I think you get gold for when you complete them. So you want to cultivate, harvest a turnip for that one. And this is introducing yourself to basically everybody in town. And here's the TV. You can check the next day's weather. So it's going to be sunny tomorrow. Fortune teller. So it's basically like what your luck going to be like. I think that's deals more in combat kind of, or in the mines as well. You want to check these living off the lands. You will get food recipes. Not everyone is a food recipe. Your fireplace, if you light it, that means like if you come back in at night, you will have a light source going on in your room. So here's the tools we got. We got an axe. That's a hoe. A watering can. A what's it called? Pickaxe. And a scythe. The scythe is used to get these little grass things out of the way. And you'll see one of the issues that comes up pretty early in a minute. Now this little grass right here, if you have a silo, that little thin grass like this right here, it turns into hay, which was used to feed your animals. Of course, we don't have any animals right now, so it's not that big of a deal if we waste it. Okay. Clearing out room for my turnips. I don't want to clear too big of a space because, as you can see, on the right bottom I have an energy bar, and when you're just starting out you have the poorest tools, so it takes you an extra while to like chop down a tree and stuff, and your energy bar is also not very big, so it can take you a little while, or it can come to bite you in the butt real quick. You see these tree trunks? You need a better axe to get those. So there is no point wasting energy on trying to get those. So I have 15 seeds. So we do 3, 5 grid. As you can see, even doing that planting takes a little bit. I'm going to water them. And you absolutely want to make sure you take care of watering crops, planting crops, taking care of animals. before you use any energy on stuff like clearing out some of this debris. But as you can see, one of the issues I'm running into is that I only have 2 free spaces left in my item bar. So one of the ways to deal with that is to create a chest. But as you see, I need 50 wood to do that. So I'm going to use some energy to try and get some more wood. How much wood do I have? 26. So it's probably worth going for a tree. I don't know that I'll actually get enough wood to build a box before I run out of energy. We gonna try. You know what? I'm just gonna chop just enough wood just to be able to make it. Okay. Need 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Because my health bar is getting kind of low, so I'm going to make a chest. You gotta highlight it to place it, and then put it there. And you're going to want to keep as much as possible. The exception being a lot of the forge stuff you can get rid of because you're going to have a whole season's worth to get. But most of the stuff you're going to want to keep because it's used in crafting recipes and the like. So I think we're done on the farm for today. So let's do an explore. Oh, there's something. As you can see, there's stuff we can pick up off the ground. Oh, looks like there's something over here. Behind this tree. Yep. That's the bus stop area. Oh, looks like there's a guy with glasses. This is Harvey. I think he is a bachelor. One of the positives of this game, as you can see, there's some grass I can scythe, but I don't want to waste my energy on it. But one of the positives of this game, as opposed to a lot of the Harvest Moon games, is that you can do same-sex relationships. So this is the community center. It opens up, I want to say, in your first summer. Sometime in the first summer. I don't know if it's based on calendar or... Hold on. I'll talk to you. So this is Abigail. Okay. But I don't know if it's based on like a calendar time or if it's based on some kind of like you've shipped so many things or what. That's Caroline. That's Leah. Caroline is married to this guy. So that's this guy's wife. This is Pierre. This is where you buy your seeds. And this is also where you upgrade your backpack. And as you can see, you will not be able to go into certain rooms if you do not have a high enough level relationship with certain people. So this is the doctor's office. Doctor's already out. That's who we met to begin with. Let's see, this is George. He's a grumpy old man. We can't meet that guy because he's in his bedroom and we don't have enough relationship points with him. Okay. This is Penny. We're doing some dishes. It's Mayor Lewis's house. He's not home. Oh, here's somebody we haven't met. It's Neru. This is George's wife, the old grumpy man's wife. Call you Granny, I just met you, woman. This is Jody, and this is her son, Vincent. Yeah, you need to talk to your son about what not talking to strangers means, woman. Here's the bar. Well, there's the barman. Is there anybody here? Doesn't look like it. So we'll introduce ourselves to the barman. This is Gus. And let's see. Who are you? You're Emily. So she works in the saloon in the evenings. Okay. Anybody in this house? This is where Emily lives with a roommate who it doesn't look like is home. Yeah, all these people have their own schedules. So if like you're trying to find a specific one, you might have to use a guide online, because based on the day of the week, there can be several places in town. Oh, there's the mayor. Elliot. Elliot lives on the beach. Okay. Haven't been there yet. That's basically where that bridge down goes, but I'm gonna swing over here and see if I can see anybody else. Well, okay, so this is a museum, but they don't have anything to display, because apparently the previous curator made off with the entire collection. So this is where when you find artifacts, you can donate them if you haven't already donated one of the same item before. And I think you get rewards based on how many of each, like of that particular brand of thing you've donated. Like if you've donated like so many ores, you're able to get a reward. And you also find books. We'll also find books, so you want to be able to donate those to the I think those will auto donate to the library here. So that's like the museum part. This is the library part. So and this is probably closed. Yeah, 9 to 4 is when that's open, so I can't check that out. I'm gonna have to spend a couple of days doing this is this part of town. This is these buildings. This is Joja Mart. If you remember, we were at working at Joja, I guess, corporate. So this is the mart, and you'll have to decide whether you want to support the big corporation or if you want to try and support the like kind of small local community feel kind of thing. Because if you just went back in there. Are you back in your room yet, or can I talk to you? Oh, I can talk to you. Okay. What's your name again? Alex. Okay. So Alex lives with his grandparents, it seems like. There's Penny. Not seeing anybody new. But it's gonna be getting dark soon. So let's go head back to the farm. I'll put in the few things I managed to collect round and about. I'll put these in here. This is the shipping container. So you just open it and you just select what you want. You are able to, if you accidentally put something in, take out the latest thing that you put in. But like those dandelions that we put in before this, they gone. So just be careful until you get into the rhythm of doing this. So what you want to do, whoop, I do have some energy left, so let me just do some weeding. Do some wood collecting, since I basically used it all to build that chest. Some more weeds. Go. And, some rock breaking. Okay. And then put these in our chest. As you can see, we got these mixed seeds. You can plant these spring, summer, and fall, and depending on what season it is will determine what kind of plant grows. We'll do that. We'll worry about that tomorrow. So go to sleep. If you wait too late to go to sleep, you won't earn as much energy back. I got a whole 130 gold. I'm guessing that stands for gold. Might be like Final Fantasy VII, which is Gil. Okay, weather report. It's gonna rain tomorrow. When it rains, you do not have to weather your crops. One thing I might want to do. Oh, it didn't happen. Good. Okay. I just got back from a fishing trip, so I need to go to the beach to talk to someone named Willie. But one thing you do want to build soon, well, I don't have it yet, scarecrow, because some mornings you can come out here and a bird will take off with one of your seeds. I'm not sure, at one point they're not able to take it, like if it's only seeds, or if it's like a little tiny sapling, they can still yank it out of the ground and take it away, but my watering can's almost empty, so when that happens, you just go to a body of water like this, hit the same button you use to water stuff, and it fills up the can. Okay? Let's get. Oh, there's something to pick up. But yeah, especially in early game, probably your biggest income will be from foraging. So you absolutely want to make sure that you spend enough time going around and picking things up. Okay. Did I see anything? Oh, see, they don't, like, you can't go into people's houses too early either. Or too late. Let's head to the beach, because there's somebody who's going to meet us there. Okay. This must be Willie. So he was out from the ocean. It's a fisherman. So we get his old fishing rod. Okay, so that's his shop right there. That's his fish boat. These, like, if you go to stores, they will, like, he will only buy like fish and fishing related items, like I think bait he'll buy and stuff like that. Let's see, foraging. These things sell quite well, I think. You can get a decent amount from them. As you can see, there are several of these around town, and what it says, yeah, so you'd have to save up 300 pieces of wood, bring it here, and it will repair the bridge. There's a couple of places like that. But, like, I think the guy who has the ore shop, he will only buy ores. Okay, see these? These are what you want to look for. These little squiggly things, look like three little worms sticking their head up. This is where you find the books and the artifacts, and then sometimes you'll get ore and stuff like mud. Whoop. I found an artifact. And if you look in your thing, Gunther can tell you more about this if you donate to the museum. If you have already donated stuff, it will not tell you to go see Gunther. It'll just give you a description of the item, so that way you can tell if it's a new item or not. So that way you can keep track of, like, have I donated this before? Do I gotta take this to the museum? It'll tell you. If it doesn't say talk to Gunther, then you've already donated it. So this is basically saying, if you find something we don't have, could you please donate it to the museum? And that's basically him telling you every once in a while you'll get rewards. So if you found something, you just come up here and it'll say donate to museum. Then you can select the item, and then you select where you want to put it. One button. Yeah, yes, I was highlighting it. There we go. So see, for completing that journal entry, we got some gold. It's quite a lot of gold for our poor little heads to get around. There's Pinna, we've already met her. This is the ore guy. And this is where you would like upgrade all your tools. Like first you start with copper, then it's iron, then gold, and I think iridium's the last one. But that's where you would upgrade your tools at. These splashy things, that's if you fish there, you get a high bite rate. Like fish will bite more often. I'm trying to meet some. Oop, something to pick up. Something to pick up. There we go. I'm trying to meet some new people so I can get that journal entry taken care of. Oop, this is. Okay, so his name is Shane, but apparently I cannot talk to him while he's at work. That's another character I need to meet. What's that question? So that was the calendar. Hold on. No. So this is the calendar. So it has people's birthdays, and then it also has festivals. So you can get one of these for your house, which is what I have for like ease of access of, okay, whose birthday's coming up, so that way I don't have to come to town every time. Okay, who are you? This is Marnie. She sells livestock when you get to that point. You're new. That's Haley. That Haley and Emily are roommates. That's their house. You're new, but I can't talk to you. Yeah. That's Sam. I can't talk to him yet. It can drive you nuts when you're like, I can see you. Let me talk to you. Stop being rude. Nope. There's something else. Pick up. Oh. Squiggly worms. This is the book that I was talking about. Okay, it's auto-delivered to the library. which is good because that means you don't have to keep it in your inventory. There's something else to pick up. And as you can see, my inventory is full. So unless I pick up exactly like dandelions or daffodils, that's all I got room for. So let me... This is the back way to your farm. But as you can see, there's stuff in the way. So let's go ahead and do some clearing, at least pathway wise. Oh, I can't pick up any of this stuff. But I can make a pathway. So. There we go. Yep, there we go. There's my seeds. My parsnips. Okay. We have a little bit of energy and time, so let us do some clearing of our farm. Alright, these are geodes. You break them to bring them to Clint and he'll pop them open. They can have various things inside, like ores, just stone, stuff like mud, or sometimes they'll have gems in them. It really all depends on like what level geode it is. That's what we got is basic geode, and as you get higher level geodes, you get higher level stuff out of them, or chance for higher level stuff out of them. Okay, some stone. These again are like the big stumps. You need a better tool to be able to mess with them. Whoopsie. Didn't mean to hit it, but there we go. Oh, and this building we passed down here, that is more Marnie's livestock thing is. As you can see, she wasn't there because on Tuesdays, I think a lot of the females of the village go to the, like where the seed shop is. So, but that's who you would buy your chickens from, cows from, etc., etc. Create me a nice little path into I'm going to save these geodes because yes, the blacksmith will open them, but I think they cost 25 gold a piece to open. And I ain't ready for that kind of spending yet. This little bowl, you put water in it. That is where your dog or cat would get their water from. But that is a story event that happens later. We won't be able to see that, but I'll be able to show it to you in my main file in a little while. Clearing out a path for us to be able to go here. Oh, what? This cave. At some point you will get the option in this cave. Do you have mushrooms or fruit? I have found mushrooms to be easier. Some people say they prefer fruit, but I've never had a problem, you know, oh gosh, or even head that way. Actually, it's already 5 o'clock. I got energy. I got energy. But we'll do one more day. Let's put this stuff up for now. I'm gonna put the fishing rod up too, because I'm just not playing the fishing. Fishing in this game has a bad rap, rightly deserved. Until you get the hang of it, it is a pain in the butt. I know some people just gave up on doing any kind of fishing in this game. because it has a little mini game attached to it. A lot of people did not like the mini game, so I'll have to make sure I show you that in my main file. Look at that. This is more logs. You might be like, what are you bothering collecting all that wood and stone for? Because you basically cannot do anything like with your farm, or you cannot get animals, you can't get a silo or whatever until you have a certain amount of wood, stone, or whatever. So like if you have energy at the end of the day, just spend it collecting some stuff. Do not waste the energy. I'm going to do it because I don't care and because I want to move the thing along. But here we go. So it's going to rain tomorrow, so I don't have to water my crops. Alright, here we go. Because we've picked up so many things, foraging, aka, we can craft 2 new recipes. We can craft wild seeds for spring, which basically means we would be able to plant them in our farm and they would, turn into foraged items like the dandelions, the daffodils, stuff like that. And we can also craft a field snack, which I will show you. Ooh, almost 300 gold. See, you would need 1 wild horseradish. You need 1 of each, basically, of the forageable items, and you would be able to create 10 seeds to be able to plant in your thing. This field snack, you need 1 of each of the tree seeds, minus the mahogany because this didn't come later, and it can replenish some health and some energy. As you can see, the window is dark because it is raining outside. It's going to be sunny tomorrow. Oh, we got some mail. Yeah, see, that's telling you about the availability to increase the size of your backpack. It is a good idea to get that sooner than later, because you basically don't want to even head to the mines until you have gotten at least the 2nd tier backpack, because your backpack will be full very quickly of stone and coal and other stuff. That's not what you really want from the mines, because what you want from the mines is ore. You want certain monster drops, and you just basically want to have enough room to carry all this stuff. Okay. As you can see, that says railroad up. It is currently blocked off. That is a story event that happens later where it opens up. So this guy is living in a tent. So that's Linus. He lives in a tent in the mountains. And basically you will cover more of the character stories and backgrounds. That doesn't open until 9, so I can just wander around a little bit more. As you unlock more of their hearts, you learn more of their backstory. I'm used to the shortcuts all being here. I'll show you later, but like there's a shortcut that opens here that goes down into town. There's a shortcut that opens on that 2nd island where you can go up. Oh, this is blocked. Oh, that's why I can't get. I can't go that way yet. Yeah, it's kind of hard to remember what is like here from the beginning of the game and what you unlock later, especially when you're like me and on year like 34. It's just been that long since I've been at the beginning of the game. I did start a Switch Stardew file I have found that it's difficult for me to read. As you can see, like this, it says 2 on it in the little menu at the bottom. It tells me there's 2. I cannot tell what the numbers are, no matter how much I adjust my menu zoom settings and everything like that. I just can't tell. Okay, so this is Robin. This is her shop. So you can shop, and she sells the calendar. That's what you put in your room to be able to see whose thing it is. You can buy recipes from her. This is where you get some of those recipes. And you can buy supplies from her. I've never found it to be a good investment to buy materials. I've never had the need to buy materials. Okay, so to increase our house, it would add a kitchen, but it cost 10 grand. So this is definitely further down the line kind of thing, and you would need 450 pieces of wood. So that's why you want to start collecting materials as soon as possible. And then to construct farm buildings, you have a coop, and you can see how much material these things cost. And it also costs a lot of gold. So you can build a barn, a well. I've never really needed a well, especially because by the time I would consider spending the money in stone on it, my watering can's pretty well upgraded for what I need. A silo, you want to get this before you get any of the animal buildings, because you want to start stocking up on fodder or hay. I can't remember what it's called in this particular game, but so yeah, you want to build this before you build any animal buildings. This, I didn't know I could mill beets. What does beets mill into? Is it vinegar? I don't know. But you can mill wheat, beets, and rice. You would basically put wheat would turn into I think it's called flour. Beets, I don't know what it turns into, and rice turns into milled rice, or basically rice you can cook recipes with, as opposed to unmilled rice, which is what you harvest from the ground. It's not a priority because you can buy all of the items that is made from this. You can buy those in the general store. So a shed, this is basically something where if your farm is starting to get overrun with various mayonnaise makers and milk, cheese makers, then you can put them all in this building. It keeps them all together. Fish pond, this is what I would call something to get later on, because you have to improve the pond based on what fish you get. You would have to improve the pond, and then you would start getting what's it called? Can't think of the name. It's not caviar, just fish eggs you can turn into caviar. So cabin, this is stuff you would build for co-op. So you have various models of those. A stable, when you build this, you will get a horse. It might be good if you're finding that you're running out of time, but in the beginning of the game, you're basically using up a lot of your energy on your farm anyway, so you don't really need to go too many places. A slime ranch, this is much later in the game, because you do not want to get a slime hutch until you get a ring that negates damage from slimes, because otherwise you're going to your slime hutch and they'll just attack you and stun lock you and everything. So a shipping bin, this is if you want to if your bags are getting full, if you just have tons of produce on your stuff growing on your farm and you're running out of bag space, just put one of these next to certain fields so you can empty out your pockets better. And so that's what that does. This is Demetrius. This is Robin's husband, and I think Mary's father. So I don't know if Mary's here. Yeah, Mary's up there. This is her home. And that's Sebastian down there. And I can't beat him yet either. So that's who's up here. Is you have Linus in the tent. You have this family of 4. And then once the path opens up, there's more people you can meet. Let's see. Who haven't I met? Met Clint. I think that's everybody over there. Met everybody in that house. Met everybody in this house. Okay, no. Here's Pam. That's Penny's mother. And this Mayor Lewis's house. Met him. The bar doesn't open until noon, so there's nobody going to be in there. I've met Willie and Elliot. Those are the ones who live down on the beach. I've met Haley and Emily. They live in there. Sebastian, you're up and about. Sebastian, there we go. Not Sebastian, Sam. Sebastian's the one who lives up in the mountain. Okay. Here's Mayor Lewis. This is the house. This house is where Leia lives. We've already met her. This is the Marnie lives here. That's Jazz. And this is what's his name? Shane, who works at Joji Mart. This is where he lives. He must be working. Can you see if there's any forageable items down here? Not really sure why I'm bothering. Oh, in spring onions will grow in like these little patch of like 4 little sand plots. It's the only place they grow, and it's basically free forageable items for spring. So just checking out the lay of the land for everybody. It's an abandoned house, looks like, with some items I can pawn off. Yeah, as you can see, I have a whole lot of energy left. That would be great to waste on my farm in a little bit. Okay, who do we have here? It's locked. I can hear someone inside though. That is the wizard's tower. You'll be able to introduce yourself to the wizard at a later time. Hello, I see you. Can I get you? Go. Suck on all this debris. And this debris, if you clear it out, I think every like spring, the first day of spring, a lot of this reappears. So I guess it's like post-winter, like nature's, I don't know, like debris from the winter season or something. I don't know what they're really going for with it, but it's not the only time I've seen that. I've seen that in other games where come spring, like you have to clear up from, I guess, the winter is the thinking. Yeah, as you can see, I'm kind of walking away from some of the stuff I'm mining before I can pick it up. That's because I'm a main character. I have something called magnetism on a ring, which from a certain distance brings in like items that are on the ground. Okay. Mining. There we go. Clear out some of this stuff. I don't have room for that coal. I don't have room for that geode. I need to go to my little special box. Let's sell some of this stuff. Okay. I think the first backpack upgrade is 2,000 gold. So a lot of mistakes that people make is they just hawk out for seeds, like for various plants. Well, I can understand that. You can't really start doing stuff like the caves until you get the second backpack. And the more different kinds of seeds plant, the more different slots it needs to take up in your backpack. So that's why I recommend backpack before just about anything else. It's also why I'm not bothering to have my geodes unlocked yet. I tend to be unless I'm like clearing a path to something, I tend to be very methodical about like clearing out my farm. As you can see, I've like done this little corner. I'm gonna start like clearing off this edge. What I might do is leave like this grass that's next to me. I would leave that for after I got a silo built, because that would be a lot of fodder and stuff going to waste if I just like cleared that out for no reason. So you can see there's a maple seed on the ground. I don't have the room to pick it up. This log, this type of log, it's also something that my axe currently cannot do. So that looks like I can clear this path. Go clear that. And let me put some stuff up in my container. Deep. Actually, okay. No, deep. These seeds, you should be able to see that they become different. Like, you see that's 2 side by side, and that's like 3. It becomes different things, like different plants for the season. It's not all one type of plant for that season. So if you want to change out your seeds, you should be able to get some of these wild seeds from just clearing out some land. Sometimes you'll get them from like the little squiggly line things. Sometimes you'll get them from cutting down these little weed things with your scythe, these things. So you can get some variety of plants without having to spend your money at the general store. So level 1 mining. So now I can make a cherry bomb. This is for cherry bombs for clearing out like rock piles and caves, like groupings of stone. Okay, so we have seen what the beginning of the game kind of looks like. You will kind of learn to do more. Like, that's just the basic starting mechanics of it. What I'm going to do, so I'm going to exit to the title. We are going to load my game. I see it's Harry Potter farm. But as you can see, I'm in year 34. I'm in the middle of summer in year 34. And as you can see, put 652 hours in the save. Because this was basically all I played for like almost a year, just because I was like, I'm super broke. It was on sale when I got it. I enjoyed the like pattern, the repetition, and so I just pour a ton of hours into it. My gold, 21 million gold, or 21.5 million gold. That's definitely in-game gold, because I think right now I earn between, on average, 15 to 20k per night. And so I'll show you what that kind of file looks like. Okay, as you can see, I have a fully upgraded house. This is my calendar. Right now it's nobody's birthday. So my kiddos. I don't even know what I named them. What did I name them? Oh, here are my animals. I named my cat Crookshanks and my horse Buckbeak. When you get to these, like level 5 of each of these, you get to choose between one of two, like, benefits or masteries. So for farming, I went for animal products. I think the other one is something like your produce earns more. This is chance for double gems. I think the other one is stuff is maybe worth more. Foraging, double harvest foraged items. Fishing is worth more. Combat, all attacks deal 10% more damage. These little gems right here under my name, I can't show you, but it says 22. Those are stuff that came from the island update. Dwarves translate. Let me see. These are things that you will just get throughout your gameplay, and they unlock certain like benefits or certain options within the game. Elliot, that's who I married in this file. As you can see, he has even more than 10 hearts. I'm trying to look at, yeah, okay, my kids. Teddy, a name for like Teddy Loop, and Elizabeth. I just cannot think of a female name. Let's just keep that up. Let's see what else. Yeah, as you can see, I've maxed everybody except for the marriage candidates I did not choose, so that's why they are there. There's the map. Yeah, as you can see, you get quite a few more crafting recipes. I've basically gotten every single one of these. I basically, like, there's no new stuff for me to do in this game anymore on this file. Turn that back up. So my daily for this is to talk to my kids and my husband if he's around. I go to the basement, which is the only place where you can keep kegs. Kegs are what you use to upgrade. Oh, there's my husband. Hello, Elliot. But kegs are what you use to upgrade the star rating on wines, beers, pale ales, cheeses. I want to say that's it. So I've been brewing and fermenting as much as I can in an attempt to max out my money. This is my fish. I have sturgeons in here. Sturgeons produce sturgeon roe, and I will show you how to turn that into caviar in a minute. There's my cat. This is my cave. It has mushrooms growing in it. I'm not going to harvest it because right now I'm trying to get them timed. This is like a mini shipping box like I showed you earlier. So let me just ship some things I know I'm not going to keep. This is my greenhouse. You unlock this by completing certain things for the community center. Maybe Joja Mart too, I'm not sure, and it didn't go that route. But as you can see, I've got several trees planted, like one of each type. That's a tea tree. And then I've got some like high profit kind of crops in here that I keep rotated out. And in the greenhouse, basically any plant from any season can grow in there. These are mahogany trees. They give you hardwood. So I've been keeping these planted even though I don't really need any hardwood. Oh. Okay. Here's my grass field. It's basically where I keep a supply of grass because there are some days that I do not let my animals out, and when you do not let your animals out to graze, they will need hay. So you can see it's filling up in the little corner. That auto goes to my silo. Here is my upgraded barn. You can get these, they're called grabbers, auto grabbers, from Marnie after a certain, I think there's some event that causes it, either an event or like you've gotten like level 10 farming or something. It auto grabs all the products for you from the animals, so you don't have to keep like the bucket and the shears and all that stuff on hand. This is where when you have animals you would hand grab the hay out and put it in the little tray for them if they were going to stay indoors. As you can see on the back wall, there's kind of like a mechanical thing that auto puts out feed. It's called an auto feeder, and I have that because I'm lazy. This is an egg or ostrich egg hatcher. This is something that came out in the island update. You will find an ostrich egg at some point on the island, and if you want to get an ostrich like I have, you will need that to hatch it, because you cannot just buy an ostrich. Oh, hold on, one more thing. And this is a warmer. It kicks in during winter, and it keeps your animals happy. You get better star quality products if you have that in the winter than otherwise would. Now, if you would want to let your animals out, you would lift this gate, and then at about 5 o'clock, the animals will start, like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, the animals will start going back in. They tend to find their way pretty well, but some days, some of these animals, I tell you what, just like their AI routing is broken, and they cannot find their way back in the barn. Here's my chickens, rabbits, baby dinosaurs, ducks. It's my golden duck. As you can see, there's an auto grabber in here, an auto feeder, and a heater as well. And again, if you wanted to let them out, you would just open this gate to let them feed outside. And here's the slime hutch. Oop. Well, it thundered a few times last night, or I mean, it was like rainy and stormy, and so the lightning struck these little things. And when it does that, I think the next few days you can get a battery from it. It's an alien capsule thing. Here's my horse. Hop on it and ride around. You don't have to feed your horse. And here's the slime hutch, as you can see. See, they're trying to attack me, but I have prevents damage from any slimes, or prevents damage from, it's called the slime charmer ring. You want to, if you decide you want to have a slime hutch, you want one of these. If you decide to go into certain dungeons, you might want one of these. And see, this glows, which you'll be able to tell at night. It provides like a ring of light around you. Attracts items and increases attack damage by 10. So when I got cat ears on, like these do not provide any effects. It's just cosmetic. These do. And see, those increase my defense and immunity. So, but the slime charmer ring is what prevents me from getting damaged and stunned by these guys. So, as you can see, My watering can do my beginner watering can can only do this deep, but my iridium water king, the maximum, can do this, like 18 squares as opposed to 1, so it's something you can work towards. Let's see. Okay, so here's my shed. In this little cabinet I have like artifacts. You can put geodes in here with coal, and what it does is it auto feeds resources into what's in front of it. So what's in front of it is these are geode processors. It does not do artifacts. Okay, so I have to do that at the thing. But if you head geodes in here with the coal, because you need coal to operate some of the stuff, so a geode and a coal would be fed into here, and then it would start the process of opening up the geode for me, so I didn't have to pay 25 gold to Clint in town. Okay, so here's my sturgeon roe that I talked about. I'm going to turn it into caviar. I want to put it into, I think these are called, what are these called? These are called casks. Is that right? Is a cask what I'm looking for? No, it's one of these. It's one of these. It's like, that's not right. A preserve jar. So it's basically going to sit there working, like fermenting. It's going to do something to it that turns it from roe into caviar, and you want it to turn it into caviar because caviar is worth a whole lot more money. Let's see. As you can see, I've got salmon berries I'm feeding into here. Salmon berries grow on bushes all around town, and even some places on your farm. They grow on bushes. They grow for 4 days in spring, and they are worth, I'm trying to both do this and talk at the same time. I can't do that. I can't. I tend to concentrate too much. But they grow on bushes around town for 4 days in the spring. And you can harvest them. I can't talk. I cannot talk while I'm trying to think and do this at the same time. Your Sunberry jelly can go. Y'all can go because y'all only gold starred. I've got enough of you. Okay. You can harvest those, and you can either sell them outright, or like I said, you can use them to do stuff like make salmonberry jelly, which will sell for a little bit more. Depending on how many preserve jars you have, it might not be worth it to take up room in your preserve jar with salmon berries. It might be better just to sell them off. But I was going to do it, so you can see I've basically gotten all the crops. And I've now hit like 100. Well, I've long ago hit 100, but so if they're at 100, I don't put any more in them. Put that there. It's recipes. Let's see, there's a lot of them. I have ingredients for a lot. The ingredients it will take stuff from your main fridge and any mini fridges you have. It will not take stuff from like storage containers that you have, like these. It will not take them from it. So if you want to cook the stuff that's in here, you're gonna have to like take it out of the container and have it in your backpack to be able to use it. So this is my seed file, or my seed box. You can see I've got this much fertilizer and speed grow because as you saw those bone fragments, when you have finished using them for stuff like quest upgrades, crafting recipes, like after you've crafted it, then there's not really much to do with them, so I've been turning them into fertilizer. And maybe you're wondering why I just sold that diamond. I got 150 in my thing. What do I want to do with them? Gotta put this fertilizer in here. This acorn goes in there too because it's technically a seed. And also you're wondering, well, what about that prismatic shard? I got 100 of those in my thing too. These right here are the reason why I have so many. This is called the fortune statue. I think you get it like you could in the desert. There's a casino, and you can get that from there. I cannot remember where did I get you? Can't remember where I got you. Maybe I got you from making Grandpa super happy. I can't remember. But as you can see over here, kitty, this is the shrine to Grandpa. And all 4 of the candles are lit. I think you get those if you like one lights when you've reached some kind of milestone. This is a clock that you can get from the wizard. It basically reduces all or like negates all erosion damage, so like your fences, they won't fall apart when you have this, which fences deteriorating is annoying. These are pillars. If you would click on one, it would take you to wherever it represented. Like, this is the beach, this is the mountain, this is the desert, and this is the island. So like if you wanted to like just take a quick trip to the island, you could click on that. What are you doing? Go away. Let's see if you stay there. These are scarecrows, but as you can see, I do not have any crops near here. These little things, you put one on one part of your farm, one on the other, and whoop, click it, and it brings you to the other one, which is right there. It's my little crop area. You see this little green arrow down? You see right, like at the bottom of the screen, you see that green arrow? That is a sign that there is ore there. Or it was, but it's in a place I couldn't reach it anyway. But you get these little panning pan, you get like that I have selected. If you see ore in the water, you can use that pan, and it like what's the word? I want to say shifts out, but that's not the right word. Anyway, it pans, you pan for minerals and stuff, and sometimes you'll get gold, iron, copper and stuff. That kind of looks like it's not ordered, but it is. That's my farm. As you can see, I got 2 silos here. If you click on them, I got 342 out of 480. It's the same for both. Like when you build the second one, it combines the count total for both of them into one. Here's my windmill, or like grinding mill, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what this is, I can't remember. Let's see. Put you in there. Yes, I see some stuff's done, but I'm not gonna mess with it until the next day. But as you can see, I've gotten several things lit around because it just gets really dark if you don't. As you can see, my ring, that's that ring of light that my ring provides. It's kind of moving with me. This is the solar panel. Every once in a while it pops out a battery for me. These things on the trees, those are, what do they call it? They're like sap collectors, resin collectors, something collectors, and so like pine resin from that one, and then like maple syrup from one, and like oak resin from that third. But basically, like as you say, as you play the game, you'll unlock various things, like various crafting recipes, and those crafting recipes will allow you to collect new crafting items. So you'll get even more crafting recipes. So that's how most of that works. Let's take a tour of my little house. You saw the cellar, which is basically, like I said, only really used, or you should really only be using it for casks to upgrade stuff like your wine and cheeses, or alcohol and cheeses. Yeah, in here I have all the various types of fish, various star levels. These are my here's my like food. I tend to get mail from various villagers, and a lot of times they'll have food attached, so that's where all of it goes. Just in case I decide to do a mining run, which I will do tomorrow, or like the next day in village. Here's a little fish tank. I have some fish in there. I can't remember why I put the fish in there, but there we go, fish in there. Here's my kids' room. 2 beds. They're already in bed. Got my cat guarding them. Excuse me. I'll go the other way, cat. Fine. This is my TV. I've already gotten all the recipes from the thing, and I tend to not really care about what the weather's going to be. I don't bother using it. Here's my south room. I just decided to use this as a winter room because I had a ton of stuff in storage. I don't think I'll just use that. This is another random room. As you can see, it's kind of got a Halloween theme going on. And this room varies based on who you marry. I married Elliot, who's a writer, and so there's a lot of like books and kind of like a little desk and stuff in here. But depending on who you marry, that room will be different. So let's go to sleep. It was a low earning day at 10 grand, but I didn't have a lot of stuff that will be put in there. I'm going to show you, what day is it, Friday? So it's going to be Demetrius's birthday. So we'll pop by and give him his birthday present. And one good thing about one of the things I have, I'll show you. Okay, nothing's ready to come out of the cask yet. He watered some crops. So it looks like I do not have to water anything. It looks like he watered everything. Okay. This right here, if it is somebody's birthday, you will get the thing that they love, or a thing that they quote unquote love. So he loves, I think it's called hot bean hot pot, and it was something. Now the greenhouses and the mushrooms, it's I tend to collect those on the same day, and the greenhouse trees, they take 3 days to renew everything. So that's why every 3 days is when I do that collection. So it's due tomorrow. So I'm going to let these guys out because I'm going to be going mining and going to be heading up to the mountain to give somebody a birthday present anyway. I probably won't be back before they head in for the night, so I can come in and shut their doors, no problem. Because if you're not going to have a long day, these guys basically won't go into the barn until 5, so you'll basically be kind of stuck waiting for them to go to the barn if you want to be able to close the doors before the next day. Yeah, 100 of those slimes. You put that in there. It makes a little slime egg. Slime eggs you can put in here and they hatch. Or I've basically maxed out on my slimes, and I got a good variety, so I tend to just sell all the slime eggs. Oh, I see you, corn. It's basically, I'm basically showing you my typical day. These, can't remember what they're called, crystallariums, something like that. They will spit out. Well, you put a gem in there, and after like, I don't know, 4 days, something like that, it spits out another one, and it keeps doing that. The only thing it does not work on is prismatic shards, but diamonds work, and those are, I think, the next best thing as far as like income goes. So how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 kegs. So let's just see, 1, let's see, that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. That's where there's a method to my madness, but even I don't understand that madness, so. I've got 2 bone things free. When we're talking bone shards, they take 5 apiece, but like if you're talking like pieces of a skeleton, it's just 1. Okay, let's put some fertilizer up. Put all that goes in here. Yes, because I've got plenty of batteries already. Come here. Good. House. Yep. Okay. Golden egg. Do your maxed. That makes you maxed. Do your maxed. When I say maxed, I mean maxed for what I would want it to be at. Melon wine. This is my to put in cask, or to put in cask thing. I see I have a lot waiting to put in there. I doubt I'll ever actually get to it all. Okay. Let's clear up some space. Sell this stuff. Gotta keep the bean hot pot for my birthday present to give. One thing I am gonna do. Let's see, you can keep this on you. It summons a horse to you. I'm going to. These are the warp totems. You use them up. So, like if I would use that one, I wouldn't have any more. You can warp to wherever you want to go. I'm going to warp one for the mountains because I'm gonna go. Because that's where my birthday person lives, is in the mountains, and it's also where the cave is, and I want to go. I also need to grab some food because I'm going to be using energy, and I might also get hit. As you can see, some of these have benefits that increases my speed and gives me better farming. I don't know that farming's what. I'm not going to be fishing in the mines. I think I got most of my, I think I've used most of my, kind of like, battle stuff. So I'll just grab those. I'll just grab those. Okay. So every Friday and Sunday in the seasons of spring and summer, you can buy something called a rare seed from the traveling merchant that sits up over here. Now the traveling merchant is also in fall and winter, but they do not sell the rare seed in fall and winter. So this rare seed, good. It's a grand, I think it was. And they produce something called where is that? Yeah, here we go. Sweet Gem Berry. They are worth a whole lot when you ship them. So it's definitely worth investing if you can to get those seeds when they pop up. And I tend to grow mine in the greenhouse. I have like a set already being grown there. So I tend to make sure I try and have some to plant as far as as often as I can. I keep those growing. So that pointed me to that little bear statue in the mountains. So we're here. This is where my Demetrius, we had met him in the other file. This is where he works and lives. So I remembered his birthday. So yeah, see, here's, I can build cribs. I can remove the wall separating my bedroom and the entrance hall. I can remove rooms, because I've basically gotten all of the house renovations I can. Constructing farm buildings, I'm just seeing if there's anything new that wasn't on the beginner. No, okay. So now we're going to go check out the mines. This is a person who isn't in the beginning game. He comes from the island. And when you get him from the island, he sits up next to Linus, basically a little tree house up there. So I'll show you the mines. As you can see, this boulder's cleared out. This little cave water inlet thing that gets removed at some point in the story, and that's whenever you get the panhandling thing, because that basically means minerals are flowing out of the mineral rich cave system. Here's the mine. This is blocked off to begin with, but once it opens up you get to meet Dwarf. He has a little shop here you can buy stuff from, but you cannot speak to him if you do not have a set of 4 artifacts called that together form the Dwarfish Translation Guide. You just basically won't be able to talk to him. These little carts unlock at some point. They take you like quick trip kind of things to like the city, the bus stop area, and stuff like that. It's a like quick way to get around. So when the mines open up, when you first start, you'll be able to go down this ladder. Look, there's stones everywhere. There's no enemies on this level, but you're like, okay, well, what now? You basically have to keep mining or keep clearing rocks, or sometimes they're not even rocks. Sometimes it's based on slaying an enemy, they'll appear. Sometimes it's like little grass will be here and you have to do that. And so to get down to the next level, you will have to like clear the area. That's a little quartz, you just pick that up. As you can see, some of these are, so like I couldn't even get by here, I'd have to clear a rock. As you can see, there's a little bug. You would get bug meat from that. See, there's a ladder there. Sometimes you don't have to find them, you just have to get to them. As you saw, there was a geode there. And you can see that there's slimes, and there's like little copper. This is where you would get your copper ores to start making copper bars at the beginning of the game. And what I'm going to do, and so this is the beginning of the mines. You would obviously want to make sure you have stuff to replenish your energy, because you'd be clearing a lot of rocks. You'd be swinging a weapon. And so you would want to make sure you have stuff to replenish your energy. And at max you would probably get, I don't know, maybe 5 levels at a time, because as you clear 5 levels, you would be able to unlock it on the elevator. And so that way the next time you came back, you could just go straight to the level that you stopped at. So let's check out a lower level. And as you can see, this one is like dark. This one has darkness. My ring is making it a little better, but if you didn't have the ring, this would be like completely dark until you got too close to these lanterns. So based on what level you're on, whoop, as you can see, there's like a little creepy walkie guy after me. So based on like what level you're at, it has like different enemies and stuff. And the bottom level is level 120. Oh, that's new. I haven't done that, so no, we're not going to say yes to that. But for the this would be your beginning mine, basically. And you're like, well, I don't know, that kind of seems scary at the bottom. I just noticed that the screen seems a little jittery. Hopefully that's not too bad in the recording. But this is the beginning mine. When you get to the desert, there's another mine. That other mine does not have an elevator. You try to get to the bottom of that in one go, so that is definitely after you have maxed all your tools, after you have like gathered a lot of bombing material, and after you have like gotten a really good weapon. So this one goes to the town. This ends up outside of Clint's shop. The quarry is over here. Let me get that little. I have everything in this game, and I still have to get those things. Okay. This bridge is over here on the other side of the mountain lake, and this bridge does not get fixed. You cannot access the quarry until this bridge is fixed, and you cannot get this bridge fixed until in my version at least, the community center, a certain bundle was completed in the community center. And by bundle I mean, actually let me take you to town. I'll show you the community center completed. After you complete the community center, if you decide to go that way, JojaMart shuts down, and after a while the townsfolk turn it into a movie theater. And the opposite happens, where if you, I think you purchase a membership at JojaMart, the community center shuts down. And I don't know what you do as far as like doing projects, because here's the community center. When you first get in here, it's all run down. You see these little star things? Each thing, like this one had one in front of it, this bulletin board had one in front of it. Each one has asked you to, like the one in front of the fish tank says, please donate these fish to this bundle. And once you've completed a bundle, you both get something, and when you complete like a set of bundles, like the one in front of the fish tank, I can't remember what it does, but you like so completing one of those bundles basically gets that bridge built. And this is the little thing that comes out by the bus stop. So to get a quick way home, you would want to go to the bus stop one, and then you could just come down here and over here. I am close to maxed out on stones. Just gonna sell a lot of this stuff. I think starting when I get to year 34, I'm not going to bother doing any kind of planting anymore. I just don't know what to do with all these plants I'm getting now. It's just causing a backup in the system of putting stuff in casks and stuff. Alright, so I'll show you now that I have geodes. Nice to see you. I'm going to ignore you for now. Geodes. See, I got geodes in there now. You can go back in there. Let's see, it auto feeds it in there. And then when I come in the morning, there'll be something that had been broken out of that geode waiting for me. Okay, so the animals are been put up in there, or have gotten to the things. These are truffles. When you let your pig out, it will sometimes dig these up out of the ground. You can make truffle oil out of them if you have an oil maker, which I do, but I already have a supply of truffle oil, so I just tend to sell them. Oh, let me go back in here for a minute. Put this in there. Do any last minute sales. You go in there. You go in there. You go in there. I've got tons of you. Up in here, put my seaweed, green algae. Some of the stuff I have so little of because when you unlock the island, you can unlock a something called Mr. Q's mystery something, and he asks for a whole lot of cook 50 recipes in the next 3 days or 5 days or something. And so some of my food supplies got brought down a lot by trying to earn Mr. Q's currency. So that's why some things are have fewer of those things than others. And you know what? I think this gives you kind of an idea of what the Stardew Valley rhythm is. You basically do your take care of your homestead to begin with. If you have any family, make sure you talk to them, and then depending on what's going on that day, you can go explore caves. You can go get some fish. I didn't show you the fishing game, but fishing mini game's a pain in the butt. But just so you can go fish. You can just walk around and go collect some wood and stone if that's what you need. You can just go talk to some villagers. You can, once you are able to, go visit the desert or go visit the island. And it's a lot of people call it a chill game. You can just, you don't have to worry about doing headshots and, tons of high stress. It's not really a high stress game. So if you haven't seen it before, that's the idea. If you wanted to see someone's level or year 34 file save, you got that too. So next episode we'll be starting our long let's play of Lego Jurassic World, and once that's been started recording, I will put up a new poll for the next long play game, and I already have an idea of what my next one shot my transition one time game will be that I will feature like this. So thanks for watching. If you like this video, hit the like button. You can subscribe to the channel, that'd be great. My Patreon is linked in the description below, so go check that out if you'd like to vote on future long play series. And if you'd like to do a one-time donation, you can go to streamlabs.com/oldmaidplaysgames. As always, I post on Twitter @oldmaidgames when new videos go live, so check that out if you want to be kept updated on new episodes. And I will see you in the next video, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye. Oh, let's see how much I made before we go. 13K. Okay. And basically, also, heads up, your game only saves after you sleep. So make sure if you have to leave, just do a quick, just gonna snooze, okay? Alright, bye everybody.